So in a previous video, I talked about how accurate could the MyHeritage In Color colorizing tool for your old family photos be. I had so much fun creating that video series, and I have so many more questions that I have answers. I have another experiment coming up. So welcome to Family History Fanatics, where we help you understand your DNA, climb your family tree, and write your ancestor stories along the way. So if you haven't seen our previous videos about the MyHeritage In Color colorizing tool, then I want you to check out the description below or the end of the video for a playlist card. But we're going to jump into the experiment I tried just in a new vein. I took a color image and I uploaded a black and white version and a sepia toned version to MyHeritage, and then used the colorizing tool to bring it back to life. So when you look at the colorized versions, pay attention to some of the things that seem to be consistent. One of the things I want to point out in this side-by-side comparison is that this colorization tool tends to take dark black, dark brown, and really give it a nice, rich, chocolatey color. And then with the skin tones, again, it takes skin tones like the one I see here with this woman and makes it more tan. So if you really want to have a nice tan skin tone, then the colorizing tool is kind of fun. But also pay attention to jewelry. You can kind of see it below her hand that it is a turquoise necklace, but then it becomes kind of a copper color in the black and white transition. It's very similar on sepia. It's inconsistent how close the black and white version matches the sepia tone colorized versions, but it's still worth looking at. So I began to think, what is the impact of the colorizing tool on different hair colors? So we have this woman, she has kind of a dark brown hair. What about gray hair? What about white hair? What about blonde hair? And so on and so forth. So let's spend the rest of this video exploring that question. So we're going to start with white hair. So this gentleman has white hair, and some other details to go ahead and pay attention to is that he has a gold watch and he has a blue stethoscope in his hand. But when you convert it to black and white and then colorize it, or sepia colored and colorize it, he kind of has Trumpian hair color. You know, the orange skin tone and the yellow hair. His watch is silver, and it looks like that blue little strip. It's hard to see, but that blue little strip in his hand of the stethoscope is now almost looks like a double chin. So you got to be careful when you colorize these photos that you don't attribute body flaws to your ancestors that weren't there. So I'm going to stay on a blonde kick and move on to this one, platinum blonde. Notice she has pink lips, blue eyes, a black little shaw, and it's really small, but she has pink fingernails. We're already in trouble because black and white turns anything dark black. So when we bring it back, it's no surprise that when you colorize a dark color on a face, that it kind of stays black. Sepia kind of picks up that pink is not dark black, so it's pale, and when you colorize it, it doesn't bring it back to pink, but it's still pale compared to the black and white colorization. Now, if you were this woman and you really wanted that tan in the black and white colorized version, you could go for it. But none of the pictures picked up that her nails were pink, that her lips were pink, and that her hair was platinum blonde. So when you see that your ancestors tend to have this honey blonde color, you have to wonder, well, did they have white hair, like the man who now has Trumpian hair, or this platinum blonde? So now this whole picture is very gold, a gold dress, gold hair, gold jewelry, gold makeup on a dark brown background. When we take it to black and white, she already, again, is wearing that darker lip color like the pink previously, but hers is definitely very dark. So when you colorize it, yeah, it's not going to be the right color. But notice the background is lighter and her hair is lighter, but her dress is a mess. As you had seen in a previous video, these solid color dresses, especially if they have any type of rhinestones or sparkle on them, the color wash just isn't very smooth. Notice that her jewelry went from gold to silver. I see that as a trend because you saw in the white-haired man that his watch became silver. Now, I decided to try a different color. We're going to talk gray. So we had white, we have blonde, now we have gray. And when you colorize grays, it just doesn't come back at all. I bet she, at that age, would have really loved to have that color hair, but it's just not realistic. So it is kind of funny. Notice also her sweater is blue in the original, and now it's gray. Now, do you have a prediction? How is this going to turn out? We've got a yellow shirt. We have black and white stripes on the bedspread. We have a purple wall. We have light blonde hair on the right. We have a darker blonde on the left. And we also have a black shirt. So when we colorize the black and white version of it, the colors don't work. And not only that, if you will look at the zebra stripes, there's now red in the zebra stripes that were supposed to be black. But the sepia version is nicer because it keeps the blonde hair brighter, but it still has a honey glow to it. And then the gray, I think the colorizing tool is unable to pick up on just how vivid the world would be. Speaking of vivid, any predictions on how this hair is going to turn out? Well, it's hard to see on screen, but her hair actually turns gray, like gray. And then the vivid blue shirts, those are now kind of a navy gray. The blue pens, they've lost their colors. The yellow table, all of the colors that you have there, it was too bright to colorize and bring back. One other thing I found interesting is that the colorizing tool has a lot of trouble with dark black hair. It just wants to make everything kind of a rich hazelnut color. So what's the point? The point is that when you colorize your ancestors' photos, you have to stop and think, well, how true to life is this? What if the gray that these men are wearing could actually be yellow or purple or some other color? What if the color of my grandfather, who's in the middle here, what if he actually is more pale or ashen, and his hair is not so brown? Maybe it's more gray, because remember, the gray didn't really come back. There was a nice chocolatey wash on it. So go ahead and have fun with the tool. I really like seeing my grandpa and his buddies. But remember, it's an artistic interpretation. So what kinds of patterns have you seen with hair color when you colorized your ancestors' photos? And does it leave you with the same type of questions that I have? For more about the MyHeritage colorizing tool, check out this playlist. And for our latest video, check out this one.